I hope you're excited to start using your Proofreading Job Tracker, so let's go ahead and get it set up. The first sheet that we want to edit is the roster sheet, so click on Roster at the bottom. All right, this sheet is where you're going to list your clients. So in column A, you'll enter your clients' names, and then in column B, enter unique initials for each client. So if you happen to know their middle initial, great, include that. If you somehow end up with two clients with the same initials, you can enter maybe a 1 and a 2 after the initials, or perhaps a hyphen and the abbreviation for the state where they live. Just whatever will help you to remember which client is which when you're adding a new job. All right, so then in columns C through H, you can enter optional information. This isn't used anywhere in the workbook, so I just like to have it. It's just easier for me to keep track of it here. So I enter their location, their email address, their phone number. The source is how they found me. Pays by is their preferred method of payment. And then I sort of summarize their preferences or just note that I have a preference questionnaire for them. All right, the next sheet is the rates sheet. So in column A, you'll enter the descriptor for your turnaround time. Mine happened to be standard, rush, expedited, and daily. And then in column B is the category or the level of difficulty. Mine are clean, dirty or unpolished, and expert. So these will be combined in various combinations. You probably want one of each pairing. The actual page rate goes in column C, and then in columns D and E are the date range when each rate is effective. So you'll notice these first three rates that have turned dark gray are expired. So they went into effect on 8/17 of 2018, and then they expired 12/31 of 2019. And then down here are the rates that went into effect on January 1st of 2020. So you just want to make sure that those date ranges don't overlap. For your rates that are current, instead of picking some arbitrary date in the future that you then have to remember to come back and update, you can enter a formula. formula. So you'll enter =, today, open parens, close parens, +1, and then that will automatically just set it to whatever tomorrow's date is until you come back and set an expiration date. In column F, you can enter a description that is just for your reference to help you remember which rate is which. The next sheet is the upcharges sheet. So this is where you'll add any additional cost per page that you might use. So for column A, this will be, again, a unique descriptor. And then in column B is the actual amount that you're adding to your page rate. In column C is an optional description just for your reference. And the final sheet is the discounts sheet. So in column A, again, you'll have some sort of unique descriptor for your discount. And then the discount amounts will either be in column B or column C, depending on how they're charged. So if you are subtracting a number of pages from the total, you'll enter that number to subtract in column B. If you are deducting a percentage from the total, then you'll enter the percentage that is billed in column C. So for example, if you have a 20% discount, you will enter 80, or for a 15% discount, you'll enter 85. So you need numbers entered in both columns depending on what you're doing. So if you are subtracting a number of pages, then in column C you would enter 100. And if you are taking a percentage off, then in column B you'll enter 0. And again, in column D, these are optional descriptions that are just for your own reference. If you have any questions, you can read these steps and look at the screenshots that I have up on my website on the setup instructions page. You can also review the frequently asked questions on my website that have some additional information. And if that still doesn't answer your question, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Thank you.